This interview is brought to you by Campbell Cameras.
Scott Bast from Takedown Outdoors Television joins us now on Mike Tomano's Wild and Free, seen on the Versus channel. These gentlemen are connected in spiritual levels to the great earth and nature, and you can catch Season 2 now online beginning in February at takedownoutdoors.com. Welcome aboard, Scott.
Thanks, Mike. How you doing today?
I'm doing very good, man. At the end of another successful deer season here in Illinois. And I know, like, I watch your show, and you guys do it all. If it's outside and it's an adventure, whether it's whitetail hunting or grabbing turtles out from a riverbank, you do it all, don't you?
Well, that's right, and that's the fun part about it because so much of today's programming is specifically focused on hunting whitetails or hunting elk out west. We just do so much in the outdoors, and we really have a passion for sharing it with people. And we're trying to film everything that we do, whether it be hand grabbing catfish or hand grabbing turtles. We're going to be filming an episode here probably in the next week or so, where we're going to go out and actually hand grab some rabbits for the viewers. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's anything outside, anything outdoors. We're big into horses. We'll drag deer out of the woods with our horses. We do cowboy mounted shooting. The hand grabbing is really caught on, especially lately with a couple of television programs out there. And that's so much fun because it's something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do. We hooked up with Josh Andrews down in Mississippi, and their crew down there has been, just so accommodating. And we go down there once a year, and we just have a great time, hand grabbing those catfish, pulling them out of the cypress roots and out of those big drums down there.
Right.
But anything outdoors. I mean, really, for us, it's a God thing. God is giving us the creations that He's put on this earth to enjoy. And we have a real passion about sharing it with people. But more importantly than that, Mike, we want to get people involved in the outdoors that just don't have an opportunity to do it.
Right.
We partnered up with Riverwoods Christian Center out of the Chicago, one of the Chicago suburbs, and we had an opportunity to take inner city youth, underprivileged youth, and give them a chance to shoot a bull for the first time, or shoot cans with a BB gun, fish. We brought horses out, and it's just amazing the excitement and the energy that comes out of doing these things in the outdoors. And it's just so awesome to give these kids or these people that just don't get a chance to really enjoy what we love and have such a great passion for, Mike.
And you're so right. The more kids, and this, my father dedicated his life to getting city kids beyond the woods, or beyond the pavement, into the woods and on the water. And when you instill that, my pastor talks about, if you get a kid grounded in faith, by the time they're 13, they've made their decision. I think it's the same thing. By the 13th birthday, if a kid has been outside enough and learned to appreciate God's creation and the hunting, fishing, trapping, stewardship that goes along with it, the hands-on participation, they won't lose that. It's instilled in their soul.
Absolutely. And you know what it is? Kids are seeking nowadays. They're seeking, alternate things to get them high and get them excited. And, sometimes those things aren't so good. They get into drugs and alcohol or whatever it might be, and it turns them the wrong way. But we can get them high on the outdoors. I mean, it's a natural high. I've had people this year and throughout my life, maybe harvest a deer for the first time or catch a fish for the first time. I mean, they're hooked. They're hooked for life.
Right.
And, when they get out there, God's creations, not only is it an excitement to harvest the animal, but it becomes a God thing real quick.
Yeah. You definitely learn the value of a life that's on your plate. Kids who hunt and kill their own food don't waste food,
That's right. Exactly.
Hey, Scott, I want to go back to turtles and rabbits. Now, I'm all over the place here.
You like that, huh?
Well, you know,
That's fun stuff right there.
when I was a kid, we used to bow hunt rabbits in the prairies around our house, you know?
Yes, sir.
And you'd find a brush pile, and you'd look for that little gray patch and send a blunt arrow in there, and that should do the job. But oftentimes you couldn't get a shot, and you would have to grab the rabbit with your hands, and then a quick dispatch, and then you had your meal. But give some advice. Now, how do you dispatch a rabbit? You just a karate chop to the neck, or what?
Well, yeah, you give them a karate chop to the neck. There's other ways to do it too, but when I was mostly in college, I ran across a friend that he called it something that I won't call it today because we're a little more politically correct, but he called it bunny abuse, and we call it hand grabbing rabbits now.
Right.
But so the trick to this thing, Mike, is you have to have a deep snow. You have to have like 6+ inches of snow, and after that deep snow, you can find your runways and you can find where they're kind of hanging out. And there's 2 ways you can do it. A lot of times they den up, and sometimes they're even in small groups. I've caught as many as 5 in a tree before. Pulled off 5 rabbits out of one tree. So you find these dens, and you can reach up in there with your hand and you start feeling fur, or you stick a stick up there and you pull it out. And if you got rabbit fur, you know it's on.
Right.
Okay. And then you just reach up there and, you believe it or not, pull out a rabbit. But the other way you do it is if you have a good dog that likes to put his nose down in holes, or you can just, find yourself a brush pile where the rabbits are held up. And then in that deep snow, what happens is that rabbits come shooting out of there. You can run them down, Mike. You can run them down in that deep snow, and then it just takes a quick stick to the head, and you got yourself a nice bunny.
Well, there you go. And there's nothing more delicious than a bunny on the pot.
That's exactly right.
Hey,
exactly.
Now with turtles, this is where I'm going to have to. Now, the reason I don't grab catfish is because I'm always afraid there's a snapping turtle instead of a catfish. How do you grab for turtles without getting your fingers knocked off?
Well, you want to know how you do it?
Yes.
Very carefully, okay? No, I'm just kidding. No, you got to, as we call it, you got to sneak up on them, Mike. You got to sneak up on them.
Yes.
Okay? So in the summer, obviously, when the water's warm, and if you ever driven around the lake, and you'll see turtles that are sunning themselves up on logs.
Right.
Okay? Or you see a little head sticking up out of the water, like a thumb sticking up out of the water. Okay? And then basically what you do is you get in that water real quiet. And you can't be afraid to get in the muck and the cattails and in the lily pads. Matter of fact, a lily pad in front of the face will kind of camouflage your face.
Right.
Because they got real good eyesight, okay? And they can feel vibration. So you get yourself a nice, a nice hat that'll cover up the sun over your eyes, and maybe a lily pad in front of the face. And then you start your move, okay? Start your move. You might move 10 feet in 5 minutes. Basically, you're stalking that turtle, okay? And, you got to get within, like, an arm's reach of them, and then you got to get your mind made up because you're going in. And when you go in, you got to reach where that turtle is going to be when he jumps. You can't reach where he was. You got to reach where he's going to be. And then basically, it's just, you grab that turtle, grab it by the shell, and, you can't get any more fun than that right there.
The great part about Takedown Outdoors television on Versus, we're talking with Scott Bast, one of the hosts, is you never know what you guys are going to do. So many shows are predictable. We know they're going to be hunting their Iowa deer over the food plots that they planted, and there's a big one, and they shoot it. But you guys go way beyond just the stand and hunt and recovery. You show the shed hunting, the scouting, checking out the different areas that you're going to hunt, and also how to film your hunts. You really go the whole gamut.
Yeah, most recently we started filming everything that we do, and that's what's enabled us to share with the public in a real dynamic fashion. But we try and be educational. We try and show people how to do things, and not just the pre, the post hunt, the kill. there's so many shows like that that's been done before, right?
Right.
So we like to be educational and teach people how to do it, but yeah, we want to show the reality of the story. Okay, we want to show the passion behind the story. Maybe it's the emotions that comes out of harvesting an animal for the first time, or just the nervousness that comes from reaching out and petting a horse for the first time. We want to show the tears and the emotions and the joy and the feelings that come out of experiencing the outdoors, and then just do it differently. Be creative and tell the story instead of just the kill.
Right. Recently, I've been an avid bow fisherman for my whole life. I mean, since I was 9 years old. The first time my father took me out to an area called Volo, Illinois, he was fishing this big lake, and I saw this stream running through this guy's front yard, and I grabbed my bow and arrow and asked the guy, "Can I shoot these giant goldfish?" And he said, "Have at it." And I remember tying the line from my Zebco 202 to my arrow, and I had a new passion. But recently, I usually give away the carp, or they end up in someone's garden or whatnot. But I shot a couple of gar last year, and I decided to fillet them. Now, you do have to fillet them from the top because their eggs are poisonous. You don't want to get the eggs all over you. But you backstrap them.
Oh, they're stinky, those gar, huh? Aren't they stinky?
Well, they're hard to clean. You got to clean them with tin snips. But the meat smelled real good, and I'm telling you, it was like eating walleye. It was fantastic.
You're kidding.
So I'm going to save all the gar I shoot this year, and I just try it. Try it. Don't clean it from the bottom.
Invite me over, Mike. I'll be glad to come and help you eat that gar.
You know what? And I would love to hunt with you guys. We're going to be taking this radio show to a Chicago station, televising it, and sometime in September. And I would love to put together just a crazy, turtle-grabbing, extraordinary adventure with you guys, because you guys know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, well, that would be unbelievable to have you out with us and the Takedown Outdoors team. We got a great team of pro staffers out there in the field filming for us, and they're just great Christian men and family guys and guys that like to have fun and throw it down a little bit. And we'd love to have you out, and film a segment for your show.
Excellent.
Whatever we can do, Mike.
And I will definitely be in touch with you for that. And now tell people how they can find out more about Takedown Outdoors.
Oh, that's simple. If you just go to the internet and type in Takedown Outdoors, it'll pop up. Do a Google search, whatever. You can look at our website. We got some real neat video clips on demand from last year's season. I think you mentioned we have season 2 coming out here real quick here in February. So there's a lot of neat things on the website, including Takedown Outdoor gear, apparel we have, and then Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook, so of course we're following in those footsteps. But everything that we do is kept current on Facebook. It's really become our day-to-day journal.
Right.
So follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, and then you'll be able to keep track of what the Takedown Outdoors team is doing on a regular basis. So that's how you do it, Mike.
Excellent. And Scott, keep up the great work. I know that faith is a great part of your life. It's the cornerstone of so many of our lives. And I keep telling people, if you want to strengthen your faith and you need a new way, because people, you get into these, you kind of do it by rote sometimes. You need to kick it into high gear. We all get into that. The best way is to be in the woods or on the water and watch the sun come up and watch when God flips on that switch and wildlife comes to life. There's no question about the big picture.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. And, I tell so many people, today's outdoorsmen have become so competitive. And, we're watching the TV shows and you want to get that big buck. And our lives are so rushed. Just take a second. Take a minute when you're out in the woods. Stop in the middle of that stream when you're crossing it. Stop in the middle of the woods and just look, listen, and you'll be so consumed by God's creation that it'll just be an unbelievable feeling. And just stop rushing out there and just look, listen, and feel the creation.
Yeah, feel the creation. That's what it's about. Well, amen. And thank you so much for joining us. TakedownOutdoors.com. You're going to find a bunch of guys who know what they're doing. They're having a great time in the great outdoors. And Scott Bass, you and I are going to share a campfire real soon.
You got it, Mike. Thanks so much. We really appreciate your time.